After a really interesting EP last year, Rebecca Black has returned with a new single called Crumbs from a forthcoming album, Let Her Burn. This is Not Every Single. I'm Joe.
And I'm Stephanie.
Let's talk about it. What'd you think of Crumbs?
Well, first of all, I have to acknowledge that you just cruised on past the chance to say Rebecca Black is back.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I guess that's fine. I really like this song a lot. I like the cover art too.
Yeah, it's cool.
What's your initial?
Yeah, well, so today I listened to that EP again. It was from 2021. And I thought that was such a cool project. She had sort of started to step into this hyperpop thing and then just like really dove right in with that album. Mm-hmm. And I also love the cover art there. It's very like Uncanny Valley. Like it's like a nice picture of her smiling, but she's got this like green slime coming out of her mouth.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So I really liked that EP, but I did feel like it was a little scattered. There's just oftentimes with hyperpop, there's just like parts everywhere, and it's more about like how many crazy sounds can you fit in there, which is a staple of the genre, and that's fine. So I was really pleasantly surprised when Crumbs was a little more subdued and focused on like a really good hook.
Yeah, it's a really solid song. I think this could become potentially like a top of the year, maybe for me.
Totally.
The more I listen to it, I think it's one that you have to kind of have a few passes at it before it really gets in your mind. But I also I had it stuck in my head after I was listening to it. And then I went also back to listen to the EP, and Girlfriend is probably my like all-time favorite song of hers. I love Girlfriend.
Yeah,
it's the
that's
last
good.
song on the EP. So that is such an earworm. If you haven't heard Girlfriend, that's my like Rebecca Black pick.
It is kind of a name that I trip over
It's
every
hard to
time I go
say.
to say it. I'm actually kind of surprised that she didn't just like go by a different stage name after the whole Friday thing and wanted to move into a new phase of music. Maybe why not like pick a different name? But I guess, that's how people know her. And
Yeah, I think she wanted to sort of capitalize on that, and also just sort of, it's a little tongue in cheek. Like clearly that was never meant to be like a widely released song Friday. It was a fluke.
and she did that remix with
Yeah.
like Dorian.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, like a big name in hyperpop. I'm blanking on the name, but yeah, maybe we just suck at talking and no one else trips over her name. But Rebecca Black, yeah, I love Crumbs, and I'm excited for the album. I don't know when it comes out because that teaser video just said 2023.
Oh yeah, I thought it was early next year, but maybe I just assumed.
Probably if the single's out. But yeah, I love this sort of soft hook, and it really reminded me of that Charlie album that came out during the pandemic.
Yeah, I was gonna say definitely get some Charlie XCX influence here in the artwork a lot as well.
Totally. Yeah.
She's looking very like spiky.
Yeah.
And like she's got like a corset on, and she's posing all weird and creepy.
It's a very hyperpop single cover.
Yeah, and I like it. I don't think it's overly derivative of anything else. I think it's just it has the right aesthetic going for it.
No, I don't think it's derivative either. It's like it's just part of the genre. These are artists that they're often presenting themselves on the cover and in the videos as almost like a heightened version of human or something, and that's reflected in how digital the music can feel.
Yeah, and one of the I think successes of this song is it still feels very, I don't know, it feels human and hyperpop at the same time. It's not like a ballad or anything, but
That's what reminded me of the Charlie album.
Yeah.
Because that was the first time I felt that Charlie wrote that line so well.
Right.
Of like, I wouldn't call it cold. It's still very electronic and digital, but that felt like it had this warmth and heart to it, and was a really interesting melding that she really started to nail there. That's what I hear on Crumbs. Not in a derivative way, just I was reminded of that. And it's kind of cool to see the hyperpop genre start to move in that direction. I'm not super familiar with like all the artists in the genre, but that's what I hear at least. Like moving in the direction of like soft hooks that have a little more heart to them rather than just this like crazy collage of sound.
And the lyrics, too, it's obviously sort of a love gone wrong type of a thing, which is obviously very common. And I like this take on it. I like that lyric. I think it's you make a mess, I'll pick up your crumbs or something similar to that. And I thought like, okay, I haven't really heard a lyric like that I can think of.
Love a hook with simplicity like that. I love that. I'm excited for this album.
Yeah, I mean, I would be excited anyway. It's great to have a strong lead single. I'm curious how it's going to compare to the EP because I feel kind of the same way. I like the EP, but not every song is like a top song for me.
Yeah, it seems like a proof of concept. And I know, like I said, I know she had sort of dipped into the genre before and has worked with people in the genre before. But that EP certainly seemed like a big stepping stone in the right direction. And now this album is kind of going to be the end result. It's cool to have a debut album coming out from an artist who's been around so long.
I was just checking to see if it had no producer listed on the credits. I guess I could probably find it out somewhere.
Yeah, sometimes you really can't find that info yet. And I looked at that too and saw there's no producer credit. I'm wondering who's behind it. But yeah, I'm loving it. What do you guys think of it? I want to hear thoughts on Rebecca Black overall and what you thought of that EP versus this new single.
Yeah, my thought before we did this episode was like, there's probably so many people who don't even know about Friday, like that was such a, what's the word? It's kind of like a punching bag of a thing, she was she was so derided and she was like 13 and it was
so long ago.
There's probably people who just like only know her as an artist. But if you look at the Spotify, like that's by far still her most listened to song.
Well, hey, here's to hoping that song starts to get knocked down in the top played.
Well, and if it's still continuing to fund her ability to like make cool music, I'm sure she's fine with it too. But I'd love to see her really break out more with this album because I think she's still a bit like cult status in a way.
Yeah, I agree. This could totally be the opportunity for her to start to be like a top pop girl.
Yeah.
This is such a strong single. I love it. I actually didn't watch the music video yet, but I think it's similar aesthetics to the cover. I could totally see this blowing up and being big. Hopefully it does. What do you guys think of it? Thanks for watching. This is Not Every Single. I'm Joe.
And I'm Stephanie.